Have you ever wondered why corned beef has become such a beloved dish in the United States, especially on St. Patrick's Day? It's more than just a hearty meal. It's a tradition that connects history, flavor, and culture in every bite. Whether it's stacked high in a Reuben sandwich or served alongside cabbage and potatoes, corned beef holds a special place at the American dinner table. But here's a fascinating twist. This iconic dish that so many Americans enjoy today actually has roots in ancient preservation methods dating back centuries. The name itself, corned beef, might sound strange, but it refers to the coarse grains of rock salt-called corns that were once used to cure the meat long before refrigeration even existed. And while this savory staple has traveled across oceans and evolved over the years, its production process remains just as intriguing as its history. So, how exactly does a tough cut of beef transform into the flavorful, tender corned beef that so many people crave? Let's take a behind-the-scenes journey into the world of corned beef production and discover why this dish remains one of America's favorite comfort foods. The story of corned beef begins long before it became a star on St. Patrick's Day menus across the United States. Before refrigeration was even a concept, salting meat was the best way to make it last longer. Large chunks of beef were rubbed and packed with salt, which drew out moisture and preserved the meat for weeks or even months. In the 1600s, Ireland became one of the leading exporters of corned beef thanks to its vast supply of cattle and access to inexpensive salt. Interestingly, much of this corned beef never stayed in Ireland, was shipped overseas, particularly to the Americas, where it became a cherished staple among Irish immigrants. Over time, what began as a necessity for preservation turned into a culinary tradition, particularly for Irish-American communities who adopted corned beef as a centerpiece for holiday feasts. Today, when Americans think of St. Patrick's Day, corned beef and cabbage are often at the top of the menu. But how does modern corned beef production work in today's high-tech food industry? The process starts with one key ingredient: quality beef. Large refrigerated trucks transport freshly butchered beef to processing facilities, where it undergoes a strict inspection process. Every piece of meat is checked for quality and safety, because consistency and flavor are non-negotiable in the corned beef world. Once approved, the beef moves to the preparation area. Depending on the factory, workers might cut the meat manually into large square chunks or rely on automated machines for precision cutting. Some facilities also grind the meat for certain styles of corned beef, using industrial grinders that break it down into fine, even pieces. This step ensures uniform texture and prepares the meat for marination. Now comes the step that gives corned beef its unmistakable taste: the brining process. This isn't just a simple soak in salty water. It's a carefully crafted blend of flavors that turn a tough cut of beef into something extraordinary. The meat is placed in giant tumbling machines or mixing drums, where it's combined with a flavorful brine made of water, coarse salt, sugar, and a medley of spices like mustard seeds, bay leaves, peppercorns, and cloves. These machines rotate slowly, massaging the seasoning deep into the meat fibers so every bite is packed with flavor. In some facilities, a salt tablet is added to each can of corned beef to maintain the perfect balance of taste and preservation. Every can is precisely weighed to ensure consistency. Before moving to the next stage, sealing and sterilization are critical to the process. Once the meat is portioned into cans, they undergo a quick steam treatment that lasts about 20 seconds. This step disinfects the surface and eliminates any impurities, guaranteeing safety and cleanliness. After steaming, lids are sealed tightly using automated equipment, creating an airtight environment that locks in the flavor. But the magic doesn't stop. There next comes the slow cooking stage. The sealed cans are placed in large industrial pressure cookers where they are cooked slowly at controlled temperatures for several hours. This step tenderizes the beef, infuses it with the signature briny taste, and gives it that melt-in-your-mouth texture we all love. By the time the cooking process is complete, every can is checked for weight, seal integrity, and quality before receiving its label. Finally, these cans are boxed up and shipped to grocery stores and restaurants across the country, ready to be part of your next hearty meal. Now, while traditional corned beef remains a favorite, the American food scene has embraced a modern twist: plant-based meat. If you thought corned beef was the only star of this story, think again. Enter Impossible Foods, a revolutionary company that has completely changed the way we think about meat. Their goal? To create a plant-based product that looks, cooks, and tastes just like real meat but without using a single animal. And they've done it in a way that's not only delicious, but also better for the planet. So, how do they make it happen? It all starts with soybeans, which are processed to extract soy protein, the building block of Impossible Meat. This protein gives the product its structure and meat-like texture. Next comes the secret ingredient that makes it taste so real: heme. Heme is an iron-containing molecule found in animal muscle, but Impossible Foods found a way to create it from plants. They insert a soy legumoglobin gene into yeast, ferment it, and produce plant-based heme in large quantities. This heme gives Impossible burgers that juicy, meaty flavor people crave. But taste isn't the only thing that matters. Texture is just as important. To replicate the juiciness of real beef, Impossible Foods blends coconut oil and sunflower oil into the protein mix. These fats melt during cooking, creating the same sizzle and succulence you'd expect from ground beef. Other ingredients like natural flavors, binding agents, and starch help hold everything together and make it cook like the real thing. Once the mixture is ready, it's shaped into patties, ground meat, or other forms, packaged and shipped to restaurants and stores nationwide. In fact, if you've ever tried the Impossible Whopper at Burger King, you've tasted their innovation firsthand. The rise of plant-based meat isn't just about taste. It's about sustainability and health. Traditional meat production consumes enormous amounts of land, water, and energy, and it contributes significantly to greenhouse gas emissions. By switching to plant-based alternatives, we can reduce our environmental footprint while still enjoying our favorite dishes. Plus, plant-based meats often have less saturated fat and no cholesterol, making them a heart-healthy option without sacrificing flavor. Today, Impossible Foods products are served in over 30,000 restaurants and sold in thousands of grocery stores across the United States. And they're not stopping there. The company is constantly experimenting to create plant-based pork, sausage, and even fish alternatives. So, what does the future of meat look like? For many Americans, it's a blend of tradition and innovation. On one hand, corned beef continues to hold its place as a cherished comfort food, bringing families together every March 17th for St. Patrick's Day celebrations. On the other, plant-based meat is paving the way for a new era of sustainable eating, offering a guilt-free way to enjoy the flavors we love without harming the planet. Whether you're savoring a tender slice of corned beef or biting into a juicy plant-based burger, one thing is certain: the world of food is more exciting than ever. Now, here's a fun question for you. Which fast food chain helped bring plant-based meat into the mainstream? If you guessed Burger King with its Impossible Whopper, you're absolutely right. That bold move introduced millions of Americans to the concept of plant-based meat and proved that delicious and sustainable can go hand in hand. Have you ever bitten into a warm, crispy, and perfectly seasoned kebab and wondered what goes into making this mouth-watering masterpiece? The doner kebab is more than just a meal. It's a story of tradition, innovation, and precision. This iconic dish, now enjoyed worldwide, carries with it a legacy that dates back to the Middle East and has since conquered global taste buds. But what's the real secret behind that tender, juicy interior and the golden, crispy edges that make doner kebabs irresistible? Today, we're taking you behind the scenes, deep inside the fascinating production process of one of the world's most beloved street foods. Get ready, you're about to discover details that will make you appreciate your next kebab like never before. The doner kebab's roots go back to the 19th century in Turkey, where it was first created by ingenious grill masters who revolutionized the art of cooking meat. Instead of grilling horizontally, they stacked slices of lamb and beef vertically on a rotating spit, slowly roasting it over a charcoal fire. This technique didn't just create a feast for the senses, it ensured even cooking sealed in the meat's natural juices and added a deliciously crispy texture to the edges. Fast forward to the 1970s. And this Turkish classic made its big break on the global stage when Kadir Nurman, a Turkish immigrant in Berlin, introduced it as a convenient street food. By serving roasted meat and bread with fresh vegetables and sauce, he created the first modern German-style doner kebab. The concept was a hit. Workers loved it because it was quick, hearty, and affordable. From that moment, doner kebab exploded in popularity, spreading across Europe and eventually making its way to every corner of the world. Today, in Germany alone, over 600 tons of doner kebab are consumed every single day. Believe it or not, Berlin now has more kebab shops than Istanbul. That's how iconic this dish has become. But what makes a doner kebab so special? It's not just about throwing some meat on a stick and roasting it. Every kebab you enjoy goes through an incredibly meticulous process, one that combines old-world culinary traditions with modern technology and strict food safety standards. The journey begins early each morning when trucks loaded with fresh, premium quality ingredients arrive at the processing plant. Every delivery is handled with care because freshness is non-negotiable. Before anything else, hygiene protocols take center stage. Workers wear gloves, masks, and protective clothing to maintain a spotless environment. Every station is sanitized to perfection. The meat, whether chicken, beef, lamb, or pork, undergoes thorough inspection. Trained eyes check for color, elasticity, and overall freshness, ensuring only the best cuts make the cut. International food safety standards are strictly enforced. Each piece of meat is weighed, sorted, and stored at a precise temperature of 2.8 degrees Celsius to keep it in peak condition. Once the raw ingredients pass the rigorous quality check, the real magic begins. Automated cutting machines take over, slicing the meat into thin, even pieces between 0.5 and 1 centimeter thick. Why so precise? Because thickness matters. Thin slices ensure the meat cooks evenly on the spit, achieving that perfect balance of crispy edges and juicy tenderness inside. Any trimmings with extra fat are finely ground. This isn't wasted flavor. When the fat melts during grilling, it seeps into the layers, making every bite incredibly rich and moist. This combination of whole slices and ground meat isn't just for texture, it's a science of taste that keeps you coming back for more. Now comes the heart of the process, the seasoning. If you've ever wondered why doner kebabs taste so distinctively bold and aromatic, the answer lies in their spice blend. Each batch is infused with a mix of garlic, cumin, oregano, basil, paprika, black pepper, and a hint of red pepper. These spices aren't just sprinkled on top, they're worked deep into the meat. Giant mixers rotate slowly, ensuring that every fiber soaks up the seasonings evenly. This stage transforms raw meat into a flavorful masterpiece, and the aroma alone is enough to make your mouth water. Imagine opening the lid and being hit with the scent of smoky paprika mingled with earthy cumin and sweet basil. That's the soul of the kebab right there. Once seasoned to perfection, the meat is ready to be stacked. This is where tradition meets technique. Skilled workers carefully layer each slice onto a vertical skewer. Some choose to alternate between whole slices and ground meat, a method that locks in moisture and amplifies the flavor. As each layer is placed, it's gently pressed to eliminate gaps, creating a compact cylinder that grills evenly from top to bottom. The precision here is remarkable. Every angle matters. The meat isn't perfectly aligned, it won't rotate correctly, and that could ruin the entire batch. Workers trim and shape the block into a flawless cylinder, ensuring it not only cooks evenly, but also looks visually appealing when mounted on the spit. It's a craft one that requires patience and expertise. After stacking, the Kebab block is tightly wrapped in food-grade plastic to maintain its shape and protect it during storage. A stainless steel skewer runs through the center, secured, with a hook for easy mounting on grills later. A steel disc at the bottom stabilizes the meat, preventing any shift during cooking. Labels are attached, detailing everything from meat type to production date for full traceability. Then, it's off to cold storage, where the temperature is kept just right to lock in freshness until the blocks are shipped to restaurants or supermarkets. This isn't just about convenience. It's about guaranteeing that the flavor, aroma, and texture stay as authentic as possible from the factory to your plate. When these kebab blocks reach restaurants, the final show begins. Mounted on a rotating spit, they slowly turn in front of an open flame, roasting to golden perfection. The outer layers crisp up while the inside stays juicy and tender. Skilled chefs slice thin, succulent strips straight from the rotating skewer, piling them into warm bread and topping them with crunchy vegetables and creamy sauces. The sizzle, the aroma, the visual drama, it's all part of the doner kebab experience. And if you think that's satisfying, wait until you take the first bite. That smoky, savory, melty near-mouth flavor isn't an accident. It's the result of countless steps, all performed with precision. But the journey doesn't end at the restaurant. To meet skyrocketing demand, many factories use advanced automation to pre-grill and slice doner kebab for supermarkets. Robotic systems handle the grilling, slicing, and packaging with astonishing speed and accuracy. These machines can roast and cut up to 450 kilograms of meat in just 6 hours. Every slice is uniform, perfectly cooked, and packed for freshness. This means you can pick up a pack of ready-to-eat doner kebab at your local grocery store and enjoy the same authentic taste at home without firing up a grill. Convenience and tradition together in one bite. Behind all this deliciousness lies a strong commitment to sustainability. Modern kebab production facilities are designed with eco-friendly practices in mind. From recycling waste and using energy-efficient equipment to adopting emission control systems and biodegradable packaging, every step is taken to reduce the environmental footprint. Workers are trained to conserve resources, making doner kebab not just a culinary delight, but also a responsible choice for the planet. It's a remarkable blend of tradition, innovation, and sustainability, a story that goes far beyond what you see on your plate. So, the next time you sink your teeth into a warm doner kebab, remember this journey. From the early morning deliveries and meticulous inspections to the seasoning, stacking, grilling, and packaging, every bite represents a labor of love and precision. It's not just food, it's an experience, a legacy, and a testament to the art of flavor. If this behind-the-scenes look fascinated you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Captain Discovery for more deep dives into the world's most iconic foods. There's a whole universe of culinary secrets waiting to be uncovered, and we're here to explore them with you.